2020 was like my last big hustle, the last time that I was able to really push in a way that I'm not meant to push. Part 60 of sharing my story on here because it's so much easier than writing another book. I had to do a quick pivot from a couple's brand to now just me and trying to explain what the hell I'm doing. And I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just flowing intuitively because it's like, this isn't right. I need to change things. And so I just do. Like, I just have these knowings of in the moment what to do, but not ever until reflection do things make sense. You know, hindsight's 2020. Yeah, that's real, especially when you're living intuitively. So I knew I had to go. I went. And the kids at this time are 9, 11, 12, and 14. And we are all very neurodivergent, and they have only ever been like unschooled, homeschooled, life schooled. Like, we just did everything with them, and I taught them everything I know because the world is a complicated place, and that's what raising kids is. It's teaching them to be prepared for the world that exists today, not a world that was, not a world that will be, but how do we function today? And it is ridiculously expensive to be like homeless. It costs, with 4 kids and myself, so 5 of us, it costs about $5,000 a month to be able to have a hotel room, motel room, somewhere to sleep, food every day, to have a vehicle. Like, it's not cheap to be homeless. Like, it just isn't. And I had published my book, the same book as this one, but it was originally titled Everything I Know I Learned from My Pimp, which I loved this title, and it just didn't hit the demographic of person that I had written for. Like, the book was written for people that want to help. And that title brought in a lot of trafficking survivors or adult workers, and I love them very much. In fact, they've saved my life multiple times, but it was like, I needed it to be read by the Christians that are wanting to do the good work and really break those paradigms. And I would write a different book for like adult workers because it's a whole different set of skills and a different need. Like, that's when you write a book, you're writing to a certain audience. So that was ultimately why I changed the title of my book, and we'll get to that part later. But because of the title, and I'm doing all this advertising, I'm living with all the stigma of being an adult worker. And it's really complex, like, to receive a massive amount of hate. Like, my goal was really to try to keep my posts at 50-50. So 50% hate, 50% encouraging comments. And that was like the balance that I tried to ride, because if you are playing it too safe, you're not growing. And if you're being too obnoxious, you're not going to grow either. And you're only going to have haters. So I'm trying to pivot into this burnt consulting, and my kids aren't really doing well with this instability. Like, it is a lot. They've not ever been away from their dad. And we were already unstable, going from monthly Airbnbs now to like weekly hotels. Like, that's a lot of moving for neurodivergent kids. And I still had a joint bank account at this point because we had always had a joint bank account, but we had been married for 16 years. And so that seemed pretty normal. Well, as we're jumping around to hotels, I'm using this joint bank account, and I had like $380 in the account at one point. And I was like, okay, this is going to get us our next place to stay, or at least a few nights. And when I went to renew our hotel room, all the money was gone. And I don't know that I've ever been so angry in my entire life, because he had taken it to pay for his hostel and had taken the money. And he had also had the car, because we only had one vehicle. So, and we were in a nice hotel, so it was okay. We could walk to wherever we needed. But I'm like, okay, now I don't have a car. And he took the money, and I was livid beyond livid. I put on the nicest clothes I had, and I took my youngest son's scooter, and I rode that scooter for 5 miles that day, like 2.5 miles. And it was a little teeny trick scooter. I looked ridiculous. There were people that were circling me I'll put the picture up because I put it on Facebook. I was like, if I turn into a meme today, know that he stole my money, and I'm fucking pissed. Like, it was funny in hindsight. At the time, I was so furious, like riding a scooter to go shut down that bank account, get my own bank account, because never again would I trust him with my money, because that was not okay. Like, when I make money, it's my money, and the money needs to go to me, not away from me. I'm not paying for your shit. You pay for my shit, because I brought 4 kids for you into this world, and I'm not playing those games. And so this is where I just started to get really harsh with him, not in an angry, freaking out all the time kind of way, but demanding, you need to pay me. This is how it works. Like, I am taking care of the kids, because he had like just decided he wasn't parenting. He took them for a couple hours one day and then spent the whole time talking to some guy, and the kids were like, this isn't cool. We're not going back with him. And I'm like, okay, I don't know how to handle this, but we will figure it out. And he's still not staying with us. He's in the hostel, but he's around. He ended up losing the hostel and was about to be sleeping on the street down in Vegas. And there was this pedicab guy. Pedicabs are these little like bicycles that have seats on the back. So people pay someone who's ever riding the bike to take you around Vegas, and like normally around Fremont. And so this pedicab guy approached Reed and was like, dude, you need to get on a bike. Get on a bike. And so Reed got a job doing pedicab and started to make like some decent money, like a few $100s a night anyway. And I just started demanding money. He was making enough for us to kind of survive, but it was like daily cash. And then it wasn't always enough for him to survive separately than us. And I made it 28 days. 28 days of trying to hustle my ass off, take care of 4 kids, bounce around in hotels. And I'm doing this offer where it's like, whatever hiccup you have, I'll help you have the breakthrough. And so it's real, like hardcore transitional coaching. And it was working well, but not well enough to support us. And there was this one guy that was a regular client of mine, and he said something to me one day that just kind of torqued me. And I was like, I don't know why this bothers me so much. I really had to sit in it and ponder it for quite a while. He said, I just love watching you and to see what you're going to do next. And he was irritating to me anyway, because he's an older gentleman who had plenty of money, and I was really helping him, but he was so fucking stingy. And I'm like, I am a single mom fighting for my life out here. Why are you being stingy? And then telling me things like that. Like, what is it that people like watching me, but they're like, oh, you've got it together, you're going to be okay. And I'm like, no, I literally need help. I could use some support here. And it just didn't sit in me. And I had to really ponder that, because what part of my marketing is causing that type of an attraction? So then, as I'm negotiating with Reed about basically the contract or the deal of him being back with us and paying our bills, I'm negotiating with him like how this is going to work out, because I'm not just going to fall back into the same trap. And yet I really do need his income, and we've got to budget smarter, and he's not very good with money. And so I'm like, okay, I think I have an idea.